One of my all-time favorite meats is pastrami, especially in a pastrami sandwich. But I've always wanted to make some pastrami beef ribs. Let's do this. All right, let's get started on our pastrami beef ribs. Now I do want to go over the brine, but more specifically, how much curing salt to add to your brine. So in order to calculate the curing salt properly, you have to weigh everything, including the water. I'm using 3 gallons of water. Those 3 gallons weigh 25.02 pounds. I'm going to be cooking 2 racks of ribs. Those 2 racks weigh 13.50 pounds. Total 38.52 pounds. So now that we have the total weight of our water and our beef ribs, we're going to be multiplying that times 454 grams. The reason we do that is there's 454 grams in 1 pound. So once I take 38.52, multiply that times 454, I come up with 17,488.08 grams of total weight. So at this point, just like when you're making sausage, we're going to add 0.25% of the total weight in grams. That comes out to 43.72 grams of curing salt. So now that we got the math class out of the way, let's get down to the cooking. All right, so I've got my cast iron warming up at a medium heat level, and I've got 1 cup of pickling spice. Now you can get this pickling spice just about anywhere. You can do a Google search and you'll find a bottle. I'm also going to be adding about 3 cinnamon sticks. Give this a good mix. So the reason that you want to lightly toast your pickling spices is to release a lot of the aromatics and oils from all of these ingredients. You just have to be careful not to burn your pickling spices. Our mustard seed and juniper berries are starting to bust open, and that's exactly what you want. All right, so I'm going to add 1 quart of water. I'm also going to be adding 1.5 cups of kosher salt and 1.5 cups of a dark brown sugar. So our last ingredient is our curing salt. Remember, we're adding 43.72 grams of curing salt. All right, so at this point, you don't want this to boil. You just want that salt and sugar to dissolve. All right, so my salt and sugar has completely dissolved. I'm going to be adding this brine mixture to the 3 gallons of water. So just in case you're wondering, the water that I used to make the brine is included in the 3 gallons of water. All right, so give the brine a good mix. All right, so the temperature of my brine right now is 76.8 degrees. That's too hot. So I'm going to toss this in my fridge for about an hour, get this water nice and cold, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so our brine has cooled off. Let's get our beef ribs ready. And look at these big boys right here. So there's not a whole lot of trimming that I'm going to do on these beef ribs. Maybe take off these excess fat pockets, and that's about it. The only thing that I am going to do is dry off that surface a little bit. Now these are USDA choice ribs, and I've done a few videos talking about removing this fat on top of the ribs and even that silver skin. It's not going to bother anything, so I just like to leave it on. On the comparisons that I've done in the past, the ribs that I've actually smoked with the membrane and the fat on top of the rib have actually been juicier. Oh man, this rack right here is a lot thicker. It's going to make for an amazing beef rib. Look at that. Man, I sure hope our beef ribs fit in this bucket. Oh yeah, perfect. Look at that. Second rack going in. Oh man, that is perfect. All right, last step is put your lid on your brine bucket just like this. I'm going to toss this in my fridge for 6 days. I will see you guys then. Stay tuned. All right, and just like that, it's been 6 days. Let's pull these ribs out and see what they're looking like. All right, right out of the gate, these ribs are really heavy. They've taken on a lot of that brine, which is perfect, but they are definitely heavier. All right, this is what the beef ribs are looking like. A little bit of a color change, maybe a brownish color. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take these to the sink, rinse them off really good, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got the ribs rinsed off really well. So let's go ahead and season them up. Well, there's a little bit of fat in the back, came loose a little bit, so I'm just gonna take that off real quick. Just like that. So I'm starting off with a good coating of granulated garlic. followed by some 16 mesh black pepper. There's a lot of people that don't like to season the back of the ribs, but I do. All right, give the ribs a flipperooski. Season up the top side with some garlic. Just a little bit. I love me some black pepper, if you can't tell. Season up your sides as well. Now I will not be adding any additional salt because we did add salt to our brine, of course, but we used equal parts brown sugar and salt. So this pastrami recipe is not going to be super salty like a lot of the ones you see here on the internet. All right, I'm going to season the second rack and I'll see you guys outside at the smoker. Stay tuned. All right, so I've got my Lone Star Grill's 20 by 42 pellet smoker running at 265 degrees, and I've got it loaded up with Smokin pecan pellets. If you guys haven't tried Smokin pecan pellets and you want more smoke flavor out of your barbecue, you've got to check them out at the link below. All right, let's load up our ribs. We're gonna be smoking these on the top rack. Slide that shelf out. I'm gonna put the thicker rack on the right side because my pellet smoker does run a little bit hotter on this right side. Here's our second rack. These are some monster racks. So one ingredient that I wanted to add to my beef ribs and I completely forgot is some ground ginger. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on the top of both racks. Just a little bit. All right, slide the shelf into the smoker. I'm gonna shut the lid, again, 265 degrees. I will see you guys in 5 hours. Stay tuned. All right, and just like that, 6 hours have passed. Let's take a look at our pastrami ribs. Holy smokes. Let me slide the shelf out so you can see these monsters. Look at that. Man, these are some really thick beef ribs. Unfortunately, this one had a big gash right here, but that's okay. We're still gonna eat it. So the bark is looking really nice. Let's grab an internal temperature. Still tough, 175 degrees. Let's check this other one. 171 degrees. So I'm gonna give these ribs about another hour, get a little bit more bark out of these ribs, get them a little higher in temperature, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, and just like that, another hour has passed. Total cook time 6 hours. Let's take a look at our pastrami ribs. Man, the sun is really shining today. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with the picture. Look at these giant bones right here. This has got to be the thickest beef ribs I have ever seen. So let's go ahead and get an internal temperature. Our bark is definitely looking nicer. Oh yeah, 185 degrees on that one. And about 178 on this rack right here. So at this point you have 3 different options for these beef ribs. You can continue to let them smoke until they're ready. That's number 1. Number 2, you can wrap them in foil. Or number 3, wrap them in butcher paper. I personally like to wrap in foil paper. So I'm gonna start with this big mamma jamma. Holy cow, the bone slipped out. So at this point, there's really no big secret on how to wrap ribs. Just wrap them how you want. Just make sure you don't puncture that foil paper. Toss them back inside the smoker. All right, so when I probe the ribs, they are probing really nice and tender. So I am not gonna take them past 200 degrees. I'll let you guys know how long that takes. Stay tuned. All right, so the ribs are ready and the total cook time is exactly 10 hours. Now these ribs have been resting on my counter for about an hour. Let me grab an internal temperature here. 170 degrees, that's perfect. Now these ribs were probing really nice and tender at 195 degrees, so I went ahead and pulled them. So I think the reason these ribs are extremely tender at 195 degrees is because of the brine that we used. So a lot of people like to hold their briskets, pork butts, or even ribs inside of a cooler. They'll wrap the protein in a towel, put it in the cooler for several hours. The problem with that is that you're not maintaining a safe temperature. So in order to safely hold food inside of a cooler, the internal temperature of the cooler has got to be kept at 140 degrees or higher. Anything below that and the food starts to build bacteria and it builds really fast. So the heater 4 unit consists of 2 different pieces, the control head and the heater unit that mounts inside of your cooler. So you can adjust the temperature. I've got mine set at 145 degrees. Currently it's at 128 degrees, but the temperature is increasing. So this other number that you see flashing here, it says 41H. That's actually the humidity percentage inside of that cooler. So this is the heater unit for the heater 4. And to mount it inside of your cooler, you do get this bracket. You just mount it on your cooler and the heater unit mounts right over it just like that. So the heater 4 unit also comes with a small reservoir. You can add some water to it if you want a little bit higher humidity percentage. You can actually do that. So all you gotta do is run this cable through your drain hole and plug that into your controller, plug the controller into the wall, and you're ready to go. All right, so let's place my pastrami beef ribs into my temperature controlled cooler. There's rack number 1 and rack number 2. All right, I'm gonna close the lid, keep that heat in. So I partnered up with Tablesmith to give one of their awesome heater 4 units away, and it's real simple to enter. All you have to do is go to tablesmith.us, make sure you sign up for the newsletter, and you will be entered into the giveaway. So 7 days from the release date of this video, we will be giving away a heater 4 unit from Tablesmith. Make sure you guys check out Tablesmith at the links below, get registered for the giveaway, and thank them for sponsoring today's video. All right, so it's the very next day, and my heater 4 from Tablesmith has done a fantastic job of safely holding my ribs. So let's take them out of the cooler. Here's rack number 1. Smells so good. And rack number 2. All right, so I've got the bigger of the 2 racks right here. Let's see what we've got. Holy smokes. Look at these monsters. This is that one where that bone fell off. But look at that. That looks amazing. Look at that bark formation from a pellet smoker. I gotta tell you, Lone Star Grills and Smokin pecan pellets is the perfect combination. So again, this is the rack where that bone fell out. So I've got 2 bones, and I'm gonna try to create 2 monster ribs here. So I'm gonna try to slice right in between the bone and see what we've got. Oh yes, that is beautiful. Smells like pastrami. It looks like pastrami. Look at that. Man, look at that color. Still really nice and moist, really nice and tender. I mean, it's falling apart on me right here. That looks absolutely amazing. I absolutely love that red color from pastrami, but look at that, paired up with that amazing bark. You know this rib is gonna be good. All right, there's only one thing left to do. Let's give these pastrami beef ribs a taste. All right, guys, check out this mountain of pastrami beef ribs. Like, which one would you guys go for? Go ahead, take your pick. I'm gonna go for this one right here. Did you guys pick this one? Look at that. This is going to be delicious. Take a look one more time before I devour this bad boy. Beautiful looking beef rib. Here we go, I'm going in. Man, I gotta tell you, that has got to be the best bite of barbecue that I've ever had. Before that, the flat iron steak was my favorite, but this one right here is stealing the show. This is so good, nice and juicy, and super flavorful. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a really big fan of beef ribs, but this pastrami beef rib right here just hits on a different level. This is delicious. You know what I love about this pastrami beef rib is the brine. That brine is perfect. It's not salty whatsoever. This pastrami beef rib is delicious. If you guys have ever wanted to make pastrami beef ribs, you have got to try this recipe. Use my brine recipe. Trust me, you will love it. So just in case you guys were wondering what I was gonna do with that bone that fell off of that rack of ribs, well, this is my dog Pepe, and I'm gonna feed it to him. Do you like that, boy? Oh yeah. You like that, huh? He wants to be put on the floor with his bone. I hope you guys enjoyed this pastrami beef rib video. If this is your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. See ya.